Stephen. Stephen Cates. He watches the skies for us on Coast to Coast AM. Up next, we're going to be talking about you. That's right, the Joy Factor with Susan Smith-Jones on Coast to Coast AM. And welcome back to Coast. I'm George Knorr. You know, this program is for you. Every night, it's for you. And sometimes some of the subjects we handle will inform you, entertain you, and a lot of times they'll help you. And that's what we're doing this hour with Susan Smith-Jones. Perhaps you're feeling a little physically or emotionally or spiritually a little off a little bit. You know, some have lost their joy of living. Some are overwhelmed by life. This is the season, by the way, where a lot of people get down. They get sick and tired of feeling sick. They're just upset. Dr. Susan Smith-Jones, she's been on the program before, has written a book called The Joy Factor, 10 Sacred Practices for Radiant Health. And we're going to get some pointers from her this hour. Hey, Susan, welcome back. How are you?
George, thanks for having me back. It's great to hear your voice again.
Always a pleasure. You know, most of the time you're on the program helping us about food and nutrition. This time you're helping us about what's inside of us. I look forward to that.
Yeah, body, mind, and spirit. In fact, it's hot off the press. We're debuting it on your show tonight.
Super. Now, let's talk a little bit about the Joy Factor. What do you mean by that?
Well, to me, good health is the foundation of a joyful life. And you know, I travel all over the world, work with lots of clients, give seminars, and I discover that it doesn't matter what country I'm in the routine of everyday life, it can really be easy these days to feel stuck. So many people cycle between fad diets and never reach their weight goals. They shove their greatest hopes and dreams to the back of the closet, and then they ignore nagging health concerns. So my goal was to take this program that I taught for 30 years at UCLA and then gave in seminars around the world and put it in one book to teach people how to take care of their body from the inside out, from the head to toe. You might remember that I haven't had a cold or a flu in almost a quarter of a century. I've never taken medication because I know what to eat and how to live to keep my body as healthy as possible. So I put all my best gold star secrets into this new book that's just come out.
So you're not lucky. You just know some things and you practice what you preach, don't you?
Oh, I definitely do. In fact, right now it's the cold and flu season.
Here we
go. One of the questions I get all the time is, you know, because I'm not sick, what is it that you do or what could you recommend? And I don't know if you've seen that famous drugstore ad telling you to get it now before something gets you, which is the flu shot. And I think for all the health-conscious people listening, this is the time you want to stock up on your natural medicine chest and have the best remedies on hand so you don't get caught off guard. And most important thing is to fortify your immune system. That's always the best defense. And, of course, you want the vitamin C and your favorite, George, turmeric, and oregano oil and ginger. Licorice root's good for a sore throat. But my favorite immune-building tip, and it's something everyone should have in their home right now, and it's a Chinese herb called Wang Qi, but most people know it by its more common name called astragalus root. And I really believe that great health comes from the farm rather than the pharmacy. So anybody listening who catches everything that comes along, you want to turn to this immune-building herb. It's one of the best herbs in the world for enhancing the protective effects of the immune system. Now, you've heard of echinacea, right?
I sure have.
All right. So unlike echinacea, which is best to take for immediate immune and respiratory support, astragalus is a good preventative immune tonic. It's an adaptogen. That means you can take it every day to fortify your body's defenses before you come down with something. And you can get it in a liquid extract, in capsules, in a cup of tea. Now, you know, any kind of tea is a hug and a cup to me. I love tea. You can also get it in a powder form, and you can even make a great peanut butter substitute by taking, I'll just rattle this off because it's on my website, 1 cup of tahini, now that's sesame butter, 7 tablespoons of pumpkin seed butter, 3 tablespoons of astragalus powder, and a little sweetener to taste, like agave or maple syrup, and mix that together. And you can spread that on whole grain toast or whole grain waffles as a way to boost your immune system. I take it every single day. You remember we talked about it before. I learned about it from my grandmother when I was a teenager, and it's one of the reasons that I haven't been sick. I'm 2 months shy of a quarter of a century.
Isn't that incredible? Why do you make everything sound so good? It tastes good. You make it sound that way.
Well, because it is. Yeah, I mean, I wish everybody listening, I wish I could be everybody's private chef and make everything absolutely delicious.
I want to ask you about your thoughts about the body. You call it a feedback machine. What do you mean by that?
Yeah, the body is a remarkable feedback machine because if you listen, you'll discover that it actually talks to you. When you get a headache, for example, your physical self is trying to tell you something, but you've got to receive those signals with health, balance, and peace as your goals. And the key is your willingness to listen and act. So I want everyone today, starting today or tomorrow, to tune in more to your miraculous body and see what it's trying to communicate with you. For example, people call me all the time, my clients, Susan, I've got a headache. How can I handle a headache? And they would usually reach for a bottle of what?
Aspirin.
Exactly, yes. And most people believe that it's normal to experience such discomfort, but you know what? They're mistaken. Because while headaches and other countless aches and pains that people experience are definitely common, health is truly the normal state. To me, disease is an aberration caused either by harm you've done to yourself or that other people have done to you. But here's the big thing, the big point. Collectively, I believe that Americans are making some very poor choices because you look at all the commercials on TV and the advertisements in magazines and newspapers. Whatever you're suffering from, whether it's headache, constipation, sleepless nights, diarrhea, indigestion, skin rashes, high blood pressure, or impotency, you fill in the blanks. The advertisers always have this miracle pill or powder or potion for you from the pharmacy. So, you see, we've come to believe that things outside ourselves are the keys to health and well-being. We've become, I believe, George, a self-medicating society because we don't really understand how beautifully robust the human body is. So each of us needs to be reminded that we're magnificently equipped to meet life's problems when supplied with some simple and easily obtainable requisites of health. And I've got some astonishing news for everybody listening right now. It is normal to be able to go to sleep at night without taking a pill. It is normal not to have headaches and sinus problems and hemorrhoids and shaky hands. It's normal to be well, but we've got to stop doing those things that cause the problems in the first place.
There are a couple things, Susan, that people, should always do in this order, and that is take care of their health and take care of the people they care about.
Oh, I love
in that order.
Absolutely, because it was that beautiful sage advice from Ralph Waldo Emerson who said, health is our greatest wealth. And, I'm sure everyone listening will agree. It does really begin with taking loving care of yourself, because regardless of your age right now, your current level of well-being, your present diet or living habits, you can choose differently at any moment. And if you're a baby boomer like I am, and I know, George, you're not quite there yet.
Oh, yes, I am.
And proud of it. You want to keep in mind that changes that were once labeled milestones of growing older, like high blood pressure, fragile bones, significant memory loss, wrinkles, reduced vision, or lack of energy and libido, they're no longer considered inevitable. And if you follow all the guidance in my new book, The Joy Factor, you will be able to look and feel vibrantly alive, and in one season, in 90 days, look at least and feel at least 10 years younger. I honestly, I feel as young and as exuberant as I ever did, and everybody listening can too.
Tell us about stress. I mean, here we are in a period. It's the holiday season. It should be, Susan, a joyous moment for a lot of people. It's not. It's one of the most depressing periods ever. How come, and what do people do about it?
Well, there's no doubt about it. Everybody is filled with stress these days, and there's a direct relationship between stress and disease. See, there's a relatively new field of science. I love this word. It's 9 syllables. So if you get bored at a holiday party, you can bring up this word and you'll impress everyone. It's called psychoneuroimmunology. And this field underscores that intricate relationship between mind and body and stress and disease. And every month we find new studies that show the direct effect of psychological and environmental factors of health. For example, when was it? It was about last week. I saw a CNN news broadcast, and they said that people under stress are 6 times more likely to become infected with a cold virus than people who are not stressed out. And that's because when you're stressed out, your immune system doesn't function as efficiently. And then this cycle of irritation and stress ripples outward and has enormous impact on everything, especially our economics, like the amount of money lost in the U.S. alone because of stress-related problems like absenteeism, illness, or just plain inefficiency on the job is in the billions of dollars. Now, the answer, though, when you're under lots of stress, is almost too simple to be believed. It's relaxation. It's just plain chilling out. And when you practice that regularly, it can help prevent many of today's stress-related diseases because relaxation provides energy. We know that. Sure. A more robust immune system, enhanced concentration, and creativity also helps you sleep a lot easier, like you sleep like a baby. But here's some of the most exciting information. I have a whole chapter of it, not only in my book, but on my website, SusanSmithJones.com, my name. There's a December newsletter. It's free, and I talk about my favorite natural remedies and stress busters and about brainwave activity. You're going to love this, George. Scientists, now, we know this. It's just review, a quick review. Scientists know that we have different levels of brainwave activity, and these are measured by different frequencies of electromagnetic wave patterns emanating from our beautiful brains. And the highest frequency of brainwave activity, which is where we hope most of your listeners are now because it's waking consciousness, is called beta. The beta range is between 13 and 39 cycles per second, CPS. The alpha and theta ranges, alpha's 8 to 12, theta's 4 to 7 CPS, but the alpha and theta brainwaves are associated with deep relaxation, meditation, and mental imagery like visualization. And the result of achieving the lower alpha and theta frequency levels is greater control over your mental state, enhanced creativity, increased productivity, and general feelings of well-being. Now, here's what the studies have found out. Over the last year, brain science suggests that we all need a minimum daily requirement of alpha and theta brainwave activity of at least 30 minutes a day. And you see, most people don't include enough of these brainwave patterns in their daily schedule, if for no other reason than they just don't know of their importance. And it will change your life because, and this is where it gets amazing, with the Earth's energy and addiction. So anybody that has any kind of addiction, really wake up now and listen. Can I go a little bit longer on? Because this is important.
We'll do it after the break, Susan. We'll do that, and I want to talk about some of these other points of what you call for radiant health and the joy factor, including music, which I find to be fascinating. Stick around. We'll take some calls as well. Susan Smith-Jones with us this hour on Coast to Coast AM.